Hello students, this will be the second session on the chapter Banking Latest Trends. Write down the next topic number, continue with the topic list. Write down the next topic number, Electronic Banking or Net Banking. Electronic banking, first write within brackets e-banking. Electronic banking, open a bracket, then write e-banking, close the bracket, then write or net banking. Electronic banking is also called net banking. Electronic banking within brackets e-banking or net banking. Give a colon, underline it, below it write subtopic number A, meaning within brackets page number 75, meaning within brackets page number 75. Point number B, features or characteristics of e-banking. Features or characteristics of e-banking within brackets page number 76. Next, number C, advantages of e-banking. Advantages of e-banking from the point of view of the customers and from the point of view of the banks. Advantages of e-banking from the point of view of the customers and from the point of view of the banks. Within brackets page number 76. And number D, disadvantages of e-banking. Number D, disadvantages or limitations of e-banking. Disadvantages or limitations of e-banking. Within brackets page number 76. Page number 76. So first of all, I'll start explaining from the meaning of e-banking or net banking. So what is this electronic banking? Banking transactions performed by the customers of the bank, by the account holders of the bank, online with the help of their laptop, desktop or smartphone and the internet connection is simply referred to as electronic banking or net banking. Banking transactions which are carried out by the account holders, the customers of the bank, sitting at their home, at their offices, with the help of their devices, laptop, desktop or smartphone, with the internet connection. So that is known as net banking or electronic banking. The customer just needs to go log into the website of that particular bank in which he has his account, give the necessary information, his net banking password, account number, etc. to log in, and then through a menu driven option he can carry out a transaction online without much of a problem. A customer can either make payments through his bank account online. A customer can transfer funds from one account to another account of any other person within the country online. A customer can make applications for certain things, for loans, etc. online. A customer can even see the transactions which has taken place from his bank account and get a statement of his bank account online. So this is known as electronic banking or net banking. So open the bracket from meaning. Electronic banking means banking transactions carried out with the help of computer systems. Any user having a personal computer and a browser can access the bank's website. It should be bank's website, apostrophe S after bank, and avail of banking services. So any customer having a personal computer, a desktop or a laptop, even with a smartphone and with the help of an internet browser, he can log in to the bank's website in which he has his account and avail these online banking services. So this is known as electronic banking or net banking. Electronic banking is banking over the internet. It is a part of virtual banking. Close the bracket. Now, characteristics or features of e-banking. Page number 76. Open the bracket from features and underline it. The main features of electronic banking are as follows. Number one, there is no face-to-face contact in person between the bank and the customer, the client. So this is not, physical banking or real banking where a customer, an account holder needs to go to the particular branch in which he has his bank account and carry out a banking transaction through that account. The account holder does not need to go to the branch for carrying out a bank transaction. He can carry out the bank transaction online, sitting at his home or at his office with the help of his device and the internet connection. So there is no face-to-face connection or contact between the account holders and the bank in e-banking. Both the bank and the client need computer or smartphones. Number three, the client has to give e-banking option to the bank. Whenever a person goes to a bank these days to open a new account, a savings account or a current account, he has to tell the bank that whether he wants to avail the electronic banking or net banking facility or not. If he tells the bank that he would like to avail the e-banking or net banking facility, the bank will attach this net banking facility with the account of that particular customer. And the bank will give the customer a net banking password with the help of which he will be able to log into his account and perform bank transactions online. So the client has to give e-banking option to the bank. The bank staff, the employees of the bank and the customer must understand e-banking technology. So both the employees of the bank and the customers who are performing net banking transactions online must need to know how to use this e-banking software or net banking software. So they need to be trained. So close the bracket after number 4. So these are the important characteristics or features of e-banking. Next, advantages. Open the bracket from advantages and underline. We will study advantages of e-banking from 2 points of view. First of all, advantages of e-banking from the point of view of the customers, the account holders of the bank, and then the advantages of e-banking from the point of view of the bank. So first of all, e-banking offers the following benefits, advantages to the customers, the account holders. Number one, customers over here means the customers of the bank, the account holders of the bank. Customers get 24 hours and 365 days a year service. So there is no restriction that a bank transaction has to be performed within the banking hours. When a customer is carrying out a net banking transaction, he can carry out any sort of a bank transaction, online bank transaction, during any time during the day. So customers get 24 hours and 365 days a year services. Number two, customers can make the permitted transactions from residence or office and even while traveling. The customer does not need to pay a visit to the branch of the bank physically. It is not required. The customer can carry out these online banking transactions from his residence, from his office, or even while he is traveling if he is carrying his laptop or his smartphone. They need not go to the bank. It's a big advantage. Number three, recording of each and every transaction inculcates a sense of financial discipline. Whenever a customer performs a bank transaction online, a net banking transaction, then automatically these transactions get recorded in a folder. And therefore the customer, by default, he maintains a detailed record of each and every bank transaction which is performing online, and which makes the customer, the account holder, more cautious about how much of funds he has received in his account or how much of payments he has made from his account, and makes him financially more disciplined. because he can keep a track of each and every bank transaction now which have been carried out online. It makes the customer, the account holder, more cautious and more financially disciplined regarding managing his bank account. Then number 4, customers feel a sense of security. They do not face the risk of carrying cash. When payments can be very conveniently made from the bank account of the customer online with the help of net banking or e-banking facility, then the customer does not need to withdraw cash from his bank account and make the payment in liquid cash to the concerned parties. The funds are getting transferred from the account of the customer directly to the account of those parties, okay, online. So customers need not withdraw cash, they need not count cash, so it saves a lot of time, lot of effort, and it gives a sense of security and safety for the customers because they don't have to deal with liquid cash. Unlimited access to the bank increases customer satisfaction. The moment, anytime, the customer of a bank who avails the net banking facility wants to log into the bank's website and use his bank account, carry out any sort of a transaction, bank transaction, he can do it. So this anytime access or unlimited access to the bank account gives a sense of belongingness or creates more confidence in the mind of the customer, okay, for or towards his bank, okay, and increases the level of his satisfaction, banking satisfaction. So close the bracket after point number 5. Now once again open the bracket. These are the advantages of e-banking now from the point of view of the banks. What advantages or benefits are derived by the banks through e-banking? E-banking offers the following benefits to banks. Number 1, the bank gains a competitive advantage. The banking industry has nowadays become very competitive. It's a service industry. There's so many banks, private sector banks, public sector banks, foreign banks, okay, are operating in the market, trying to do their best, trying to, give new types and modern types of services and facilities to their customers so that more people walk into their bank and open accounts and become their customers. So a lot of competition is also taking place in the banking industry. So therefore, a bank which offers this net banking or electronic banking facility for its customers acquires an added advantage. Okay? So it gains a competitive advantage. It helps him to encounter with his competitors in a much better manner if it offers the electronic banking or net banking facilities for its customers. It makes it more competitive. The network of the bank is not limited to the number of branches, rather it expands far and wide. So net banking does not depend on the number of branches. Even if a bank has got only 10 branches throughout India, its customers will not remain limited to those 10 branches of those 10 cities. The bank can have customers from all across the country from different states. So therefore, network of the bank, in that case, the bank which is offering the electronic banking or net banking facilities for its customers, so the network of customers for this bank will not remain limited to the number of its branches. Branches can be very few. Okay? But the banking network, the network of customers for the bank will expand far and wide through net banking. Then centralized database reduces load on the branches. The most of these banking transactions taking place online, okay, are handled by the main server which has been installed in the head office of the bank. So the load of carrying out these transactions on a regular basis by the few employees of those small branches get reduced by a great extent. So centralized data management reduces the workload on the employees who are working in these branches, because the regular types of banking transactions which are conducted online by a large number of customers far and wide, okay, so these transactions are directly taken care of, handled, processed by the main server of the bank which is maintained in the head office. So close the bracket after point number C. So these are the advantages of e-banking or net banking from the point of view of the banks. Next, let us discuss the disadvantages or limitations of e-banking as a whole. So what are the disadvantages or limitations of e-banking? Number 1, open the bracket, underline disadvantages. E-banking suffers from the following limitations. Point number 1, the bank and its clients have to invest in e-banking technology. The bank, the head office along with its branches will have to buy computers, install those machines, the terminals, the software needs to be installed, e-banking, net banking software, employees need to be trained. So these expenses are to be incurred by the bank. Similarly, from the customer, the account holder's point of view, the account holder also needs to incur expenses in buying his device, his PC or that is desktop or laptop, his smartphone. You will have to get an internet connection. So these expenses will have to be borne by the customer as well. Number 2, training in technology is needed for both. The bank needs to train its officers and employees, those who will handle e-banking transactions or process e-banking transactions. And the customer also, the account holder also needs to know how to operate banking transactions online. So training in technology is required for both the customers of the bank and the people who are working for the bank. Number 3, clients may not be able to transact due to defect or virus in technology. So all of us are aware of those network problems which we are facing often these days. So if the network of the bank is down, if the server of the bank is down, if the server has been infected by a virus, so due to all these technical problems, network problems, the transactions, online transactions of that particular bank may be held up for some time. Okay, so that is a disadvantage, that clients may not be able to perform their banking transactions online due to network problems, defect of any technical defect, or for any virus attack, etc. Number 4, any oversight or error, any lapse in concentration, or if an error is made on the part of the bank or on the part of the client when a transfer of fund is made, then the account holder will have to face the brunt of it. Okay? For example, if it is written in the textbook, an example is given that while transferring 50,000 rupees from an account of a customer, if by chance the bank or the client makes a mistake and instead of entering 50,000 in the device, wrongly he enters 5 lakhs, 10 more, and that customer has got more than 5 lakhs of rupees in his bank account, then what will happen? Instead of 50,000, 5 lakhs of rupees will get transferred from that customer's account to the account of the transferee immediately. And after that amount has been transferred, it will become a very difficult task retrieving or recovering that extra amount of money transferred to the transferee. Okay? So any oversight or error on the part of the bank or the client can be very harmful in net banking transactions. For example, rupees 5 lakh might be transferred. After transfer, give an arrow and write instead of rupees 50,000. Rupees 5 lakh might be transferred instead of rupees 50,000 because of error in mentioning zeros. So close the bracket there. These are the disadvantages or limitations of e-banking. Now, next topic altogether. Next topic, whatever is the number, topic number, write down. The name of the topic will be different forms of e-banking or net banking. Different forms of e-banking or net banking. Give a colon, underline it. Different forms of e-banking or net banking. Give a colon and underline it. Below it, write point number A. So in this topic, I am going to discuss with you the different forms of e-banking, the different facilities, the different types of facilities which are offered by e-banking for the customers of the bank. And we can call them different forms of e-banking. So below this heading, write point number A, subheading, point number A, small a. Electronic funds transfer system. Electronic E capital, funds F capital, transfer T capital, system S capital. Electronic funds transfer system. Within brackets in capital letters, the short form EFTS. Within brackets in capital letters, EFTS. give a colon, below it write meaning, comma, examples of EFTS transactions, meaning, comma, examples of EFTS transactions and advantages of EFTS and advantages of EFTS. So three things are to be studied under EFTS, meaning, comma, examples of EFTS transactions and advantages of EFTS. Within brackets, please write the reference, the answer, textbook, pages 76 to 77. Pages 76 to 77. So let us now see what the different forms of e-banking or net banking are. The first is, number one, is something which is called EFTS, Electronic Funds Transfer System. Within brackets, I will advise you to write another thing. This EFTS is commonly known as, in that topic point number A, at the end of the page number, after you have written the page number, you write there, EFTS is also popularly termed as or referred to as, better to write referred to as, EFTS is popularly referred to as ECS in capital letters, ECS. Within brackets, please write Electronic Clearance System. ECS within brackets, Electronic Clearance System. Close the bracket and give a full stop. EFTS is popularly referred to as ECS, Electronic Clearance System. So see, it is yet another fund transfer system offered by almost all the big reputed commercial banks to their customers. Now over here, what the customer, the account holder of the bank has to do, he has to just give a standing instruction, a fixed standing instruction to the bank that on this particular date of the month, this amount, fixed amount, has to be transferred from my bank account to the bank account of some other person or organization. So the account holder has to give a standing instruction, a fixed instruction to the bank, which the bank will keep on following over and over again every month. So when the account holder gives a standing instruction to his bank in which he has his account, that on this very particular date of every month, say rupees 2000 will have to be transferred from my bank account to the bank account of a particular concern or a particular person, and the bank details of that particular person or organization will be provided by the account holder to his bank. So one such instruction, a standing instruction, is given to the banker. Under this ECS system or EFTS system, the bank will keep on following the instruction of the customer and will keep on transferring that amount of fund from the customer's bank account to the account of the transferee. The customer need not go to the bank or need not remind the bank over and over again every month that please transfer this amount, please transfer this amount. Okay, so it becomes a great help for making regular payments which are to be made after regular intervals. So making such payments become very easy with the help of this ECS or EFTS system. Like the very good example is that employer, a business organization, has to pay salaries to its employees every month. Either the salaries are paid on the last working day of every month, or the first working day of the next month. So therefore, the employer can give a standing instruction to his bank in which he has his account that on this particular date, he will send a statement of salaries to be paid to the employees. So maybe 7 days before the due date of paying the salary, the employer makes the calculations, the accounts department of the employer makes the calculations, sends the salary statement of every employee to the bank, say maybe 3 days before the salaries are due to be paid. And the bank knows, the standing instruction has already been given, that on this very particular date, say on the 30th of every month, after we get the salary sheets, the salary statement from the employer, the respective amounts are to be transferred to the respective accounts of the employees from the account of the employer. And the employer has already provided the bank details, the bank account numbers and other bank details of every employee to his bank. So the employer's bank know that these amounts of salaries at the end of every month are to be transferred to 100 employees, and the account details of these 100 employees have already been given to the employer's bank. So the employer's bank knows to which accounts the salaries are to be transferred at the end of every month. Okay, so this is electronic funds transfer system, also popularly referred to as ECS. So first of all, mark the meaning. Open the bracket from number 1, page number 76. Underline the line, underline this sentence before that. Main forms of electronic banking. Underline this sentence. Main forms of electronic banking. Then open the bracket from number 1 and underline electronic funds transfer system, in short EFTS. Under this system, money can be transferred from one account to another account, which means from one bank account to another bank account. Funds can be transferred under this system. For example, a bank transfers wages and salaries, just now I told you, directly from a company's bank account to the accounts of its employees. Please write to the accounts of its employees and then give a full stop. Of the company, you can cancel these words of the company. So for example, by using this EFTS technology, a bank can transfer wages and salaries directly from a company's account, the employer's account, to the respective accounts of the employees of the company. This service saves both the employer and employees from the inconvenience and risk of handling large amounts of cash. So direct transfer of salaries and wages from the account of the employer to the account of the employees, okay, saves both the employer and the employees of counting and handling good amount of cash at the end of every month. Now, examples, some main examples of EFTS transactions. The main examples of EFT are as follows, or you can write the main examples of EFTS transactions are as follows. Number 8, direct credits. Think that you are an employee. From an employee's point of view, the employee is receiving the funds getting credited to his account directly at the end of every month. He doesn't have to go to the employer, the accounts office, count the notes and take his salary. Not required. At the end of every month, his salary is getting directly credited to his bank account. So he's receiving the funds directly. Funds are getting deposited directly in his bank account. So that is a great advantage. So direct credits, these transactions. So account holders, like employees, they are getting salary, pension after retirement. Then if we have invested money and bought shares of good companies, at the end of the year, when the companies are giving dividends to their shareholders, the shareholders can get their dividend directly credited to their bank accounts, because at the time of applying for the shares, in that application form, the applicant is now required to give his bank details, so that the company can send the dividend directly to that particular bank account of the shareholder. So dividends are received directly. Salaries, pensions, interest on debentures, commission, royalty, etc. are directly credited to the bank account of a person. Okay? Crediting a bank account of the customer means funds are getting deposited in the account of the customer, in the account of the account holder. Okay? And direct debit means the customer, the account holder, can also make direct payments from his bank account using this EFTS system. He can make direct payments. He can debit the bank account directly. He can make direct payments from his bank account through this ECS or EFTS system. He can pay electricity bill. He can pay phone bills. He can pay, book his air tickets. He can book his railway tickets. He can pay hospital bills. So all such payments can be made from the bank account by using this EFTS technology. So loan installments, EMIs can be paid, because if you have purchased a home or a flat by taking a loan, you know that every month EMI against that loan has to be paid to the bank. So the person who has taken the loan will give an instruction to the bank in which he has his account that my EMI for the house loan, the EMI for my house loan is rupees 10,000 per month. So I'm giving a standing instruction that on the 15th of every month, please debit my account, take out 15,000 rupees from my account and pay this to that particular bank from which I have taken the loan. A standing instruction is given by the person who has taken the home loan to his bank in which he has his account to pay the EMI, the installment, from his bank account to the bank from which the loan was taken. So direct payments can be made by this EFTS facility. Loan installments can be made, school fees of children can be paid, insurance premium at regular intervals can be paid, telephone bills, electricity bills, water bills, club membership fee, credit card dues, etc. can be paid directly or directly debited. Directly debited to the bank account means directly deducted from the bank account. Payments are made directly from the bank account of the account holder by using this EFTS system. So these are the main examples and these are the transactions which can be performed by an account holder if he uses this EFTS technology. Then come to the next page and mark the advantages. Electronic funds transfer offers the following advantages, underline advantages. So what are the overall advantages of this EFTS? Payments are made on the due dates, because if the account holder has given a standing instruction to the bank that on the 15th of every day you pay the EMI for my home loan, this much amount. Okay, every after 3 months you pay say 15,000 rupees to this particular school for my son's tuition fee, school fee. So he just needs to give the instruction once, the account holder, that the bank will carry out the instruction at the end of every quarter or at the end of every month as specified by the account holder. So the customer will not miss out in making these important payments on the due dates. So payments are made on the due dates. There is no loss in transit. Cash is not being handled over here. No liquid cash needs to be taken out from the bank for the purpose of any payment. So there is no loss of cash in transit. No expenses are to be made on correspondence. No correspondence expenses are there because there is no correspondence. There is no mishandling of cash and transactions are effortless. Within seconds, within minutes, the funds are transferred from the account of the account holder to the account of the transferee. So close the bracket after point number 5. So these are the advantages of this electronics funds transfer system, EFTS, or popularly referred to as ECS, electronics clearance system. So I'll wind up this session over here. So I'll continue with the other forms of electronic banking in my next session. Thank you.